I got a little story for you guys. When I was 5 years old, I didn't know a word of English, right? And I was in kindergarten, and I had to take the bus to and from school every day. And my particular bus route was Route 7. I had to jump on the bus. The first few days of school, I remember I had a little red jacket. It's actually really puffy. It was a really puffy red jacket. And they would pin, with the safety pin, they would put a big piece of paper showing the bus that you're supposed to be on. Because I did have to take the bus to school, back and forth. And the bus driver would have to look at my piece of paper to make sure that I was on the right bus, because there was other buses that traveled back and forth from the school, from Mayfair Elementary. And on my specific route, bus number 7, it stopped at 2 different stops, right? So it stopped at Jackson and Mammoth and Checkers Drive Apartments. On their way home, there were a few kids that needed to get off on the Jackson and Mammoth bus stop. There's a set of there's this neighborhood here on Jackson and Mammoth, and that's where I'm actually at right now. That's Mammoth right here, and this is Jackson, and that's McKee Road right there, right? And my apartments were over this way. So every day there'd be kids. As soon as the bus driver would go on their loudspeaker and say Jackson and Mammoth, Jackson and Mammoth,
Jackson and Mammoth.
and then I would see a few kids raise their hands, but I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what Jackson and Mammoth was. It sounded funny to me. I would always hear Jackson and Mammoth. It was just strange to me. And then I would hear Checkers Drive Apartments. So I had no idea what that was either. But I would see a few kids raise their hands, and that meant for the bus driver would have to stop right there and let the kids off. And one particular day, as soon as she announced the bus stop, there were no kids that raised their hands. So I was like, well, should I raise my hand? I didn't know what was going on, so I raised my hand, and she stopped. So she stopped right here. And I remember there was this big empty field here before this building was here, right? And she stopped, and then so I'm like, okay, what is she doing? And she's waiting for me to get off the bus stop. So she's looking back in her mirror, and she's yelling at me. So everybody starts looking at me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I need to get off. So I actually got off the bus stop. I got off the bus, and then I was like, well, what am I doing here? I have no idea how to even get home, right? So I got off the bus. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna jump back in. So I got back in, and she starts yelling at me, screaming at me. And I don't remember if I cried or not, but anyway, she looked at my paper, and I jumped back in, and I made it to my bus stop, which was the next one further down the street that way. For me, but I will never forget that whole Jackson and Mammoth. I think the bus driver's name was Star, and she was pretty mean to everybody. Either way, I told my baby that story many times, and she's here with me now, looking at the bus stop here. And we just walked all around here. I grew up all this area here, riding my bikes. Walking, there used to be a Kmart over there. I used to walk to the Kmart all the time with my mom as a kid. Behold, we're in my old high school, Independence High School. I was always in trouble. I was always in here, mommy. CO6. They used to be called CO6. I'd be in first period, 8 o'clock in the morning. There'd be kids showing up already drunk.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a class in here, and then had another class in there, and then that class is right there where remember I told you that the teacher tossed me when I was sitting on the desk and he threw me. That was in that class there. So because I was so mad that they did that to me, one day I grabbed a piece of pencil and I stuck it here and I broke it, and then that morning the teacher tried to open it. She couldn't open it. So all the entire classroom was here.
Oh my God.
And then there they would have, during lunch, they'd open up those roll-up doors. And then they'd have Pizza Hut and You could buy snacks and stuff. That one. That's the one. The same one. That's the one that we threw the eggs at. Yeah, that same class. Yeah, I told you that before, huh? Behold, H.S. San Jose. This was not here when I used to go to school here. So at that time, when I used to go to school here, this was the second biggest high school in California. Mr. Ayala's class was here. I used to go here when I was in 10th grade. And then when I was in 11th grade, I really liked Mr. Ayala. He was a really cool guy. And I was his teacher's aide when I was in 11th grade, I believe. What, Nami? Oh, that was Mr. Baldock, and we'll go to his class in a little bit. Here, I was going to get in a fight with the guy right here. Actually, two fights right here in the same spot. I pushed some guy right here against the wall. So I pushed him, and he didn't want to fight. And then this other guy, these two other guys actually, they're all talking smack about me. They didn't know I was right behind them because of some confrontation that happened earlier. They didn't know I was walking right behind them. I was walking with one of my girlfriends, and I heard them talk about me, so I pushed him. What's up, fool? He got all shocked. They were talking about me. Here I had this was my keyboarding class. Keyboarding, this is where I learned how to type. In this classroom right here. I forgot the name of the teacher. She was a black lady. She was really nice. And then Mr. Smith, my math teacher, was here. I really liked him as well. But one day we got into a big old fight. No, with some students. I remember getting in a fight during lunch. Then after lunch, I went to my class, and I guess somebody must have ratted on me. And then they called the classroom, and the teacher said, "Yeah, he's here." I didn't know they were talking about me. I had a suspicion that they were. And the next thing you know, the golf cart rolls up, picks me up, and they suspended me. Or actually, they kicked me out of the school.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I got kicked out of school. Yeah, I came back. This is where I used to hang out when I was in 9th grade. Right here in this spot right here. I was always right here chilling with my friends right here against the wall and just seeing everybody pass by. Area here, this was where all the Mexican kids, all the kids that were from like straight up from Mexico and Salvadoreños and all that, they were all here. This was the jock hill. So all the students that played sports, they were all here. The stage, this is where we had a DJ over there, and we had everybody here dancing, which is pretty cool. This is one of the gangster hills, one of them. I had many friends. I hung out here for a little bit, then I went to the other side, to the back where I told you. And this was the fish hill. This is where all the white students hung out at. One day, me and two of my friends, we decided to walk through here. And there was a bunch of gangsters right here. And we were all like looking at them and stuff. And then as we got further away, they threw a box of milk at us. It didn't hit us, but it landed on the floor and it splashed on our shoes and stuff. And we turned around and we're like, what's up then? Nobody wanted to fight. Oh, now I gotta show you where I broke the stink bomb. Oh, so this class, oh man, Mr. De Leon, his history class was, I believe it was that one there. I loved his class. I loved, no, the other one. So I loved being in there because I just loved him as a teacher, and I loved geography, I loved history. So he was so good at explaining it to us, and I loved learning. I loved history, I loved geography, so I loved his class. Yeah, auto classroom, I was bad. Yeah, I would get bad grades sometimes. But I told you, remember, whenever I would actually stick to something, I would actually get really good grades. One year I got an F minus. Yeah, for jewelry, just because I never wanted to do anything. I didn't want to do jewelry. I mean, and I'm not telling you all this to brag. I don't think it's cool. I don't think you should ever be like that. Okay. So this classroom here, I was a junior here, and I had this math class. This is my math class with Mr. Virus. Mr. Virus did not give a crap about me. Like, I would try to ask him questions, go, figure it out. Like, well, this is why I'm coming to you, because I don't understand it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just walk away, right? So after lunch, I would come in here, and he'd open the door, and he'd say hi to everybody as we're walking in and stuff. He never really said anything to me. And so right at as soon as he walked in, he had a brick right there, a brick to hold up the door. He would grab the brick and he'd open the door, and he'd put the brick outside to hold the door open, and he'd say hi to everybody. So I remember I used to sit all the way in the class, all the way here at the end, right? And so I saw him out here saying hi to people. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get that stink bomb, and I'm gonna put it right where he's gonna put the brick. So when he closed the door and he put the brick against the wall, and he kicked the brick to put it up against the wall, he broke the vial to the stink bomb. He broke the stink bomb vial, right? So next thing you know, I'm hearing people, oh, what's that smell? And blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, oh, whatever. And like, open the door. And he did not want to open the door. He's like, who broke the stink bomb? Whoever did it just is messing it up for everybody else. Who did it? So they can get a referral, right? So I didn't want to say anything, and people were like, come on, just say something. Who did it? He couldn't take it anymore, so he ended up opening the door. I loved learning. I just had no tolerance for crappy teachers. Teachers that didn't give a crap about students. Huh? No, he didn't even know me. So Independence High School is split up into kind of like 4 different schools into one. They're broken out by villas. So A villa, B villa, C villa, and this is D villa here, Democracy Hall. So each villa would have their own principal. My home villa, you could have classrooms all over the school. So you could have classrooms in A villa, and then then another classroom in D villa.
There's different principals.
Yeah, there was different principals, and because the school is so big, you'd have 17 minutes in between periods. The bell would ring 17 minutes apart because it was so big. You needed 17 minutes to get across the school. Let's say you had a school all the way at the on that side over there by the art area, and you had PE. It would take you 17 minutes to get over to the PE area.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and each villa had their set of bathrooms, right? So there was only 4 sets of bathrooms in the entire school, open, that were for students. But I never wanted to go to the bathrooms here because I lived across the street from these apartments, from the school. It was easy for me to go to the bathroom if I wanted to go to the bathroom, even though you weren't supposed to leave campus. It was a closed campus. If I had to go to the bathroom, I would run home because I refused to go to the bathroom here because before, when I was in 9th grade, I was like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll go to the bathroom, right? But because there was never any toilet paper in any of the bathrooms, and the bathrooms were disgusting, none of the lights ever worked. Where you would have to flush, they were always broken. There was always leaking water.
Yeah.
There was poop on the floor. The grounds were always wet. It's like, I'm not going into this bathroom, especially because they never had any toilet paper, and they were all dark. Everybody knew. Everybody talked about it. Nobody ever did anything. Let's go to the stadium area. Let's go to the stadium, and then we'll go to the PE area. For my classroom reunion, huh? Or the Guinness Book of World Records tie-breaker event. Yeah, we broke it. We broke 2 records that day. We were here maybe 2 or 3 years ago. My school tried to have they try to break the world record for having the most high school reunions at a single given time, with all classes held together. So beginning with the class of 1977 all the way to class of 2018, they had them all right here inside the stadium, and we did break the record. We actually broke 2 world records that day.
How much people?
Maybe, I think it was how many people showed up.
I remember me and Mom, we were right here waiting in line for snacks or something.
Yeah, they had snacks all right here. This is where all the students would park their vehicles, their cars. Let's go in there. On game nights, this was the snack area. This is where they sold all the snacks. It's obviously not being kept up right now because of the whole coronavirus thing, but this is where I graduated from. This was my we had all the students graduating. They were all sitting there. The football game, and this is where when we had PE, we'd have to run. We'd have to run the mile here, 4 laps. Yeah, you would be able to. Yeah, you're timed. So this is where I had the best time, 6 minutes 53 seconds on my mile run. That was the best I ever did. Yeah, I was a freshman. 6:53.
And then that's the theater over there, huh? You said it was haunted.
Yeah, it's over there. But I remember on my graduation day when I graduated from 12th grade here, I got a haircut earlier that day, and I cut my hair short. I wanted it to be short, right? And as soon as I got home, Nana got mad at me and she hit me. I'm like, it's my graduation day. Come on.
Yeah.
And
She hit you?
she hit me. Yeah. And then from there, I left. I walked over here with my cap and gown, crying. Like,
Aww.
and
Poor puppy.
thanks, precious. And I remember walking through here, and when they put on the song, the graduation song, the pomp and circumstance song, I remember we had to walk all around so that everybody could see us, because there was all kinds of, all the parents, all the families were all gathered here.
Oh my gosh.
And then I remember I was trying to go to the Marines, right? And I remember seeing my recruiter, Sergeant Fowler, huh?
What's that?
The recruiter, the one that tries to get you to go to the army or to the military.
Oh, you
I
wanted
saw
to
him.
go to
Yeah, I wanted to go. And I remember seeing him, and I saw him like, Sergeant Fowler. He goes, Armando. And I was just remember walking next to all the Marines and looking at them. They're holding up the American flag, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm freaking graduating, because I almost didn't. I almost didn't graduate. So yeah, and then then I sat down. With one of my friends, Jose Cardoza. We both sat next to each other because it went by last name. You had to sit according to last name. Then I had to go up there and get my diploma, or this fake diploma, because the actual diploma gets mailed, but they give you this piece, something, right? So they gave it to me, and then I jumped off stage because I was so happy.
Aww.
And then it said Armando, and I could hear, ah. I heard some people yelling on that side, like some of the families, and then on that side, like my family was sitting over there, and my friends were sitting over there. And my friends that didn't graduate, and lots of my friends, they were all sitting over there, like, yeah, whatever. But I remember jumping off the stage, like they had these stairs. I didn't want to take the stairs because I was just so happy.
Yeah.
So this is our swimming pool. It's huge. We would actually have national tournaments here, high school tournaments. People show up from all over the country. Well, it was back then. And then they have that, something Frank Pescalini International Swim Center. There were kids that jumped from all the way from the top all the way down, and that pool over there, that's the deep pool. I don't remember how deep it was, but they told us you have to jump from there, or else you're gonna get an F. I was like, I'm not jumping from that, so I got an F for that assignment.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
When I was in 9th grade, here's another little story for you, Mommy. When I was in from transitioning from 8th grade to 9th grade, we didn't have any money for shoes, right, or clothes. And I remember sitting down right beyond this fence here. There's some steps, and all the students had to sit there, right? And everybody started looking at my shoes, and they started laughing. They started talking about my shoes, like, look at his shoes are all jacked up, whatever. Everybody had brand new shoes, and I still had my 8th grade shoes that were all beat up, because those are the only shoes I had for everything besides my church shoes. So I said, well, the teacher said to bring something comfortable, some shoes that you're gonna be comfortable in. And they're like, yeah, right, you just didn't have shoes, you poor bastard. And I just felt horrible inside. This is where I used to play handball. Wow. Yeah, me and Isaiah. This is where I learned, no, not to learn how to play here, but yeah, Sabrina's been here before too. Okay, there's still cars there. That's a good thing. One of the stories that I'm going to tell you about here is this was our bus stop right here, right? We're standing in front of my old apartments. There was 2 bus stops. No, 3 bus stops here, Checkers Drive Apartments. The first one was when I was in kindergarten and 1st grade. They used to stop right here, right? Later on, maybe 3rd grade or 4th grade, they moved it over to the other end, right over down that way. In the mornings, there'd be all the kids, everybody would be running around right here, right? Until the bus came, then everybody lined up, and all the moms would be right here and stuff. So, there was a kid named Douglas that I used to wrestle with right here. Right, and one day he was looking for me. He didn't know where I was at, and I kept calling him Douglas. So he's like walking over here, and this was already here too, right? Well, actually, there used to be bushes here. So somehow I jumped up on top, and then I jumped on him, bam, right here.
That must have hurt.
Yeah, and I thought, like, as soon as I landed on him, I was like, oh my god, I think I really hurt him. But he just kept wrestling with me. And there used to be payphones here. There was a wall right here with payphones, and people would pick up the payphones and dial a certain number, and the payphone would ring back, right? It would ring. And then there was another bus stop at the other side. Yeah, because these apartments are huge, right? So this bus stop served all the kids that lived on this side of the apartments and that side of the apartments. It's all one big complex. I'm not sure how many units there are, but there's a lot of them in here. So there was tons of kids here, right? Well, that ends our day here exploring East San Jose, my high school, and my old area where I grew up, the apartments I grew up. I'll come and show you more around next time. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later, all right? Peace.